I've done Zoom before.
Sorry, I just started recording. I forgot to do that before, but that's great.
I'm not seeing it on my phone.
Oh, I think sometimes if you call in, it's different, maybe. I don't know.
As long as you can hear.
Yeah, as long as you can hear, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So does everyone understand the vision going for the 90-day sprints as opposed to we're going to do a giant contest till May and then a giant contest from June till whatever, what was it, October?
Yeah.
Everybody understand that that's now 4 different contests or sprints, I guess. I like that better than contests, don't you think? I feel like because it's about you and your business and not about me getting to all these convention prizes. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I
so
do.
The focus sounds better. Like it feels, and I like that it's the same every time. So it's not like, like we're all, oh my God, I wish that I would have added those 8 people in July instead of in June because then it didn't count and then whatever, like all that stuff. So that's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know how though that's gonna I get the big prizes, but how that's is it gonna be 2 quarters is for convention and 2 quarters is for leader? Do we know how that's
that's what I was trying to figure out.
I don't know if there's
I
don't know if they're doing this going forward. I mean, because of COVID and not going to be able to travel.
Maybe.
I think that's part of it, even though they are still planning as of now convention in Vegas. Nothing's been canceled. I don't know. And they're obviously still planning the Emerald Extravaganza and the Diamond, the Diamond destination. All those are planned, and they're planned in Mexico, I think, on purpose because they can go and they don't have to cancel it. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping that there's still a leaders retreat this year again. I'm hoping that those things come true, but I think they're really trying to get people focused on growing their businesses. And the other thing that I think will just be frosting on the cake kind of thing. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now.
Did you?
But I love that it's 90 days and somebody can join tomorrow and get going, or somebody can join in April and not have to miss out on all these things. You know what I mean? It's a constant change and restart. So if you have a really bad summer, you're I'm out of town and I can't focus, even though we don't do that. It's I can reset. There's a constant reset. You're not giving up on the contest because nobody's joined in, by the middle of February. I love that. Alicia, you said something to me. Was it yesterday about 90 days or the day before? What did you say about 90 days?
90-day goals that there's a lot of research as far as why you do things in 90-day increments instead of thinking big goals, because then you start to fizzle out. But if you're in a 90-day goal, it feels like you have a time crunch. So then you're working towards something, but it's not so long that you lose momentum or it's too big or it's too crazy. It's the perfect amount of time to put in plan in action steps to get to where you want to be. And then it's a short enough chunk of time that you can readjust if you don't hit that goal, that you're okay, this is what I'm gonna do next. So it kind of breaks it down, rather than having a year goal that's too big, it's too broad, you lose focus, it seems too far off. And so you're meh, it doesn't feel doable. 90 days are doable. So it's based in also on why you do it in 90-day chunks.
Right. And the prizes the point system is going to stay the same as far as if you guys looked at the point system. I might post them in our group. I screenshotted them from a call that we had the other day, but if you guys didn't see the way there's levels 1 through 4. So it's about building your team. And then there's customer levels, and I think for 1 and 2 for customers, I could be wrong. And then retention. So you guys can see a huge, Alicia's gonna talk about the compound effect in a minute, but I love that because you're gonna see a huge growth in your points from day 30 to 60 and 60 to 90 based on retention. So if we are doing the things we're supposed to be, and that's what I want to talk about later too, is how we're going to maintain retention and to grow and to increase people from staying. The science is if somebody stays for 90 days, they're going to stay. The likelihood of them staying for a year is 80-something%. It's really high.
Oh, wow.
So if you can get somebody to stay for 90, for a lot, they're going to be you got them at least for a year, and then who knows, right?
Right.
So that's the thing that I love, again, it's that whole science of the 90 days. So they said that statistic the other day. They might have in that call the other day. If you guys haven't listened to Genevieve and Ryan's call, they were on the Plexus Ambassador community. I posted in the thing. You can rewatch it if you haven't done it. It explains this more in depth, but I highly recommend doing that while you're going about doing the things in the next day or two. So that retention focus, I think, is going to be absolutely pivotal in not only the points and prizes are great, but not only building a lasting legacy team. So it's
Right.
awesome. So Alicia, she was talking a lot about the book, The Compound Effect. Has anybody else read it? I have not. Okay, but she says you can audio it in like an hour or something.
Yeah. Oh no, not this one. This one's longer. That was the other one. Whatever. I read a lot of books or listen to a lot of books and then talk about them a lot to people, which I guess is what you're supposed to do. And they're supposed to.
I need to add this to my audio or my
This one's good. It's a good audio. The guy speaks very like energetically. It's a good one. It's like 6 hours. So it took it took like whatever, 2 weeks, a week and a half.
So when you're driving, that's
or
when
I'm walking, I just like listen to it in chunks. So I've listened to a lot. I've been doing a lot of like mindset development because I didn't realize I had a scarcity mindset, and anything that you build on a scarcity mindset is not going to last because you're not building it in the right way. And you're basically building out of fear instead of out of abundance. So you have to like get your mindset fixed first. So that was me last year. And then this year I've been doing all the things. So this book, The Compound Effect, is like right along with the lines with that. But really what it boils down to is whether you're conscious of it or not, their compound effect is always going on. Everything you do is changing the trajectory of your life in positive ways or in negative ways. But it's not like these big drastic things. It's not, oh my gosh, like I have to make these big giant changes or these big giant decisions. It's little tiny things compound on top of each other to take you one way or the other. So his example, and he has lots of examples, but one example that's easy and quick is that like if you were to just cut out 100 calories a day, it's not that much. It's like a half a soda. Like it's not that much calories that you're taking out.
It really is a half.
When you compound that together, he was saying it's usually, and you're not seeing the effects right away. Like in 2 months, you're like, whatever. But he's at the end of like, his was like, it was like 2.5 years. But at the end of like 31 like months or whatever, you've gained like 30 pounds of calories. That's like that, or you're taking out 30 pounds of calories. Or if you're adding in that 100 calories a day, that's like 2 little mini Snickers. Like that's not that big of a deal, but it compounds. And then at the end, you all of a sudden have gained 30 pounds and you don't even notice it. It's these little teeny tiny things.
Wow.
So same thing with your habits is what is kind of where that all goes. So, and for us, it's really, I thought it was really important because it's that little tiny thing, that 2 extra reach outs that you're like, that's 2 people. That's not like whatever, or I'm tired. It's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. Or it's just 2 people or it's whatever. But those 2 people, then in a week, that's 14. Then in a month that, and so it just compounds. So if it comes down to these little tiny things are going to make the difference, especially for us when it's like a numbers game of how many people you reach out to or how many people that are going to eventually say yes, that it's just those little tiny habits. So that daily IPA, and not thinking about like, oh my gosh, I have to do all these things, or oh my gosh, it's this big giant thing I have to do, or I have to add these extra things into my schedule, because we all have busy schedules. I know that it's just one little thing. It's just one little thing done consistently. And he's like, it's boring. And a lot of times it's like, like you don't even think it's making an impact, and you will not probably see it right away. But it's that in 3 months, in 6 months, in whatever down the road, that all of a sudden, and that's what like, and he was saying kind of, it's always this all of a sudden thing, because it like, magnifies. It's not just like adding to it. It's like multiplying it, so that all of a sudden it's going to be, oh my gosh, this big giant jump, this big giant thing will happen. And we hear, Diamond say that all the time, like all of a sudden, like somebody signs up and then it's like boom, 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 boom. But it's all that work that was put in the
beginning.
So it was a really interesting thinking, positive and negative, like just your habits. and that you don't have to think about it like, oh my gosh, I have to make these drastic changes. I have to like go on this, super diet or whatever. It's just like the
Hey,
little
Brooke and Emily, we're not going to do that.
these right. No, right. But it's those little tiny things, and it's doing it consistently. And the thought too, that as you do, we're babysitting dog. There's lots of dogs. I don't know. It's like we're babysitting the neighbor dog. It's
Neighbor dog.
they're just everywhere. That they will become habits. So then you don't think about it anymore. So then you're just going to add in one extra thing. So maybe I do 4 reach outs every day this week. And it's just becomes a thing. And then in 2 weeks, I add in that 5th one, and then it's just a thing. And so it's just incrementally adding, and then it becomes a habit that you don't consciously even think about anymore, but then it's compounding to have lasting and bigger effects later on. So the book is really good. Yes.
I am going to add it to my Audible credits.
Yes. And he said, don't think of, obviously don't think of everything at one time of all the things you want to fix, but the way that you really see what people say. And for me, it's time. So I'm just going to use me as an example. He was talking about eating or exercise, or there's lots of different things that you can do. But for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's my time? And And yes, I do a lot of things, but it's like, oh my gosh, time. So he's saying for a week, you track whatever your thing is, you need to change. You track every single thing. So if it's spending, you track every single thing you spend. If it's eating, every single thing. If it's time, how I'm spending my time. So then you can go, oh, okay, there's like a whole chunk of this that I can focus on. I have 2 hours of Gilmore Girls or whatever, like this chunk. Yes, I'm working, but okay. So it's consciously seeing where you need to make changes, and then just adding in making one little small change. And he was saying, you think about adding in habits, not taking them away, so that it doesn't feel negative. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to add in one more, I'm going to, not like, oh my gosh, I don't get to watch my show or whatever. No, I'm going to reach out to 4 people and I'm going to do this, and this is going to be great. Or not like I have to be on a diet. I can't do this. No, I get to make this choice, and thinking about it, just spinning the words so that it has a positive vibe. I get to reach out to 3 more people today, and maybe it'll be great. All right. Yeah.
Right.
So that was that. And for us, I think that's huge, especially, and
going into these 90-day things.
Yes.
Because maybe it's like you look at 90 days and go, this is what I'm going to do for 90 days. And then you're going to add something, or maybe it's monthly.
I would say
January, I'm really going to focus on actually just doing my IPA every day.
Yeah. And maybe it's just that. And then I think, and sometimes we look at the IPA sheets and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's only 3 people I have to reach out to, and 5, that's not, I should do more. But it's like, also, you don't want to burn yourself out. So if you're like, I'm just going to be super consistent this whole entire week with the 3, 5, whatever, with 5, 3, 1, whatever the things are, just be super consistent. And then next week, step it up. And that way it's not feeling like this burden or this like, oh my gosh, I have to do this thing,
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. And I think coming off of 2020, where I don't know about y'all, but I was pretty much hanging by the, the entire year, just like, and we'd have times of momentum, and then we'd have, oh, this is happening and crazy things are happening and the world is, and I feel like it was just like, it was kind of like, hurry up and wait the entire year. And then like December, and I'll be completely honest, I've been super inconsistent. I'm not going to punish myself for it. It's life. It's the holidays. It is what it is. So I think of all that, we're now at this place where like, I can totally start adding in, and I could totally start being more consistent, even if it's just like doing my IPA Monday through Friday. And then the next week, maybe I'm adding that reach out. Maybe the next week I am following up better, or whatever it is that you can do to incrementally, create this routine that works for you, but is also something that is a little bit is growing, or maybe in some capacity each week or each month, depending on whatever your personal goals are. I think coming off of 2020, we can all say that we're like, I definitely have a starting point right now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we all have that. So I'm super excited about that. And I think what it looks like for me, or to Alicia, or to Ruthie, Patty, whatever, it might look a little bit different just based on your circumstances. But if we are all consciously moving positive steps forward and setting those goals each week, each month. And like they say, if you don't have a goal without it, what is it? A goal without a something without a goal. I don't remember what it is.
A goal without a plan is just a dream or
Yeah.
just
So
a
if
hope.
you're just like,
Yeah.
I want to
Okay.
be Ruby and it'll happen. No, there has to actually be a plan in place. You know what I mean? Like, and Alicia's the queen of having it all like
Need
live.
vision.
Yes, the vision
Right.
boards and all the things.
It's
I'm not
so
that girl.
much. Yeah.
I love it. It's like behind her door. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So I love that she has that, and I probably need to maybe add that to my compound effect, like maybe having more of that in my office here, you know, because I'm just like, I don't want to write it down. It takes too long. So just don't do it. But I think that's awesome, and I'm really excited. So a couple of things that I thought as a team.
Can I add something
Oh, yeah.
really quickly? We're
Yeah,
talking
go for
about
it.
90-day goals. So I do, like, as I've been on my little mindset journey, right? Like with the 90-day thing, it's like whatever, really 90 days is the end of the results, like where you would see. So like what you're doing today. So like and along the lines of the compound effect too. And we've heard people say these in like training calls and stuff too. Like the seeds that you're planting now, it usually is about 90 days before you see whatever will come out of that. So the people you're talking to now, it's usually about 90 days, 3 months down the road that it all kind of gels together. Or the people that you're making new relationships with, it's usually about 90 days. So it usually takes about that long for things to work out. So that whole 90-day process, yeah, the goal is good. And we were talking about this yesterday, Alyssa too, but the goal is good. Like I want to be, mine is just ridiculous, but it's fine. Well, no, actually it's less ridiculous. I wrote it down. I was like real ridiculous. So I want to be senior Ruby by the end of 90 days, by March 31st. So it's actually totally reasonable. It's actually really reasonable. I don't know what we'll see. So that's what I want to do in 90 days. But it's like that whole process of getting there is part of the thing too. Like a lot of times, like we focus on this end goal as being like that's so great. Oh my gosh, I have to hit this goal. And that is great. But the person and that you become and the character traits that you develop and the relationships you make, right, along that 90 days, sometimes are even more important than the actual goal itself. So I would encourage you to think about it as like a growth goal, like how you want to how much character things you want to develop or areas in your own life that you want to focus on, like personal development wise, or all of that along the way to get to that big goal. Because if things change or if things shift or that goal gets pushed back or whatever, it's like, it helps you kind of, I don't know, not enjoy the journey because it's a freaking journey and it's hard and you're like, come on already, like, let's do this. But like, at least there is that in the meantime that will make you that better person, that will teach you those things, all of that too. So I don't know. That's my
No, 100%. Did anybody have anything to add? Because I was going to go into a little bit more about how we can, some ideas about how we can make this even better. But before we do that, did anybody have anything to add or talk about? Welcome, Gabby. Anybody have anything? Thoughts?
Okay, so I just want to get the 90-day thing down so I know exactly. So there's 4 big competitions, and they're all based on Leadership Retreat for 2021, and
we don't know.
Or not Leadership Retreat.
They're based on these. The prizes for each thing are the prizes for each thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Every 90 days,
and then,
you have a shot at all these things.
Okay.
And cash.
And cash. Okay. And then once the 90 days are up, you just start over.
Yep. And the cool thing for you guys is you can stack them all. So like you can stack levels 1, levels 2, levels 3, all the way up. I can't start till 3, but that's okay.
Oh.
So I don't get the sports package. It's actually cool.
They have faith in you.
It's like a 15-minute AirPods.
You got this. You got this.
I got this, right? I'll be fine because I have y'all, so it's good. No, I'm just kidding. It's you can stack them all the way up, which is cool. So that's why when I ask for you guys the goals, like what's your 90-day sprint, like prize goals, but also your 90-day, like where you want to be at the end of 90 days, you know, business wise. And even health wise too. Like if you're like, oh, I've been, you know, the holidays did me and those kinds of things. So I just want to make sure. So each 90-day sprint has its own set of prizes, but the point system remains the same.
And,
okay.
And it kind of boils over because
Yeah,
if
it rolls
say
over.
you add somebody in month 3 of the first chunk,
You can
they-
still
if
get
they
the retention.
stay month 1 and 2 of the next chunk, you're getting points for them
Yeah.
in those 2 points.
Those roll over, so those don't cut off. The retention stuff doesn't cut off.
So it starts
Okay.
over, but kind of. It starts over, but you still get to use the people.
Like the
you already
point
have.
totals start over.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What else?
Okay.
What other questions
Yep.
on that?
I think, well, you posted that thing and you said, like, did you check out the prizes? Like, did you, and I'm still learning the point system. Like, it'd be nice to have something to be like, this is how many points is for this, and this is how many points is for
I
that.
will send that because I do have a picture for that that I
Okay.
took on that call. So I will shoot that over to you. And
Okay.
so there's the individual things. Now there is also for 50 non-jewels, and I know you're gonna be like, but for 50 non-jewels, there are year-long totals, and those who have the highest numbers get to go to Paris. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I've never been to Paris, but if I got a trip, I'd be on my way. It'd be fine.
Yeah, I saw Emily's post. I was like, that's random.
I know, right? So there is kind of that long-term goal too that you just want to kind of work to and kind of keep in the back of your mind, but not make it like Paris. Right now you're like senior gold. You're just like,
I know.
So I mean,
Well,
but
I feel like if I have, because I want to push the point system for my downlines, because I feel like my problem is people join for like a month and then they jump out.
Yeah.
And if people that stay in for 2 months, they actually reap the benefits of the product. So I'm like, if I can get people to just stay in for 2 months, then I can use this contest to get them to.
100%. And
Yeah.
if you get into 3, the likelihood of them sticking around is huge.
Yeah.
And that's the thing
Yeah.
with like, which is the next thing I want to talk about, which is tap rooting, because that means you're not only hanging out with your level ones and making sure that you're following up the way you should be, but we have got to really dig deeper to our levels 2, 3s, 4s. You really want to focus on your 1 through 4, and if we're all doing that, the whole team will be part of that. And so what I'm going to be doing starting tomorrow, because it's Monday and I'm doing my compound effect and starting my things. So Mondays are going to be my catch up. For tomorrow, it'll be pretty much everybody that joined in December, which wasn't a lot of people, but it's all good. It's all good. So I have less to do tomorrow. I'm going to be focusing on that I have not introduced myself to. I'm going to focus on my levels 1 through 4, which lucky for me, most of my working people are in my levels 1 through 4. So that's a huge blessing. Introducing myself as another person that they can reach out to, ask questions, share a teeny bit of my story. It's going to be like a blurb. Once I find my letter, I'll send it to you guys as an example. Hey, my name's Ruthie. I'm a mom of 3 in Corey, Pennsylvania, and I joined Plexus, a year ago because my gut was jacked up. You know what I mean? And then I just want to reach out and say, introduce myself and say that I know that so-and-so sponsored you and they're fantastic, but I'm also somebody that you can lean on or ask questions to anytime you want. And in a week or 2, probably 2 weeks, I would probably check back in with that same person. So I've got to be organized and be like, I'm going to be tap rating my levels 1 through 4. So they know that I'm not just a name above, random person, but I'm actually somebody that cares about them and is super excited that they've joined and wants to see them be successful health-wise, whatever their goals are. So if I can engage in any conversation with them, I will. If they respond, great. If not, at least I know I've done that. And so when I follow up, I look legit and I'm not like, hey, random person just randomly emailed me once.
Right.
So
you're sending emails, not Facebook messages? You're doing emails.
It depends. If I have a text, I might send a text because I feel like people see the text more, because it goes to their phone. But the flip side of a text message is they go, I don't know who that is, and they forget about it 5 seconds later. So I might play around with that one. If anybody has any other thoughts. Facebook message, if I'm Facebook friends with them, I might, but I feel like people don't see those as much. I don't know. What do you guys' experience with that?
Yeah.
I just do Facebook message.
Text message I've had the most success with is text.
Do you you have a calendar with people in like slots, or like how do you or do you just go on your virtual office all the time and just kind of go through?
See, I used to be super calendared out, and I was
because I'm
way more organized that way. And then I haven't lately. and I'm going to go back to some type of either I don't do spreadsheets, but they scare me, but some type of like written down, you know, what I've done Monday through Friday and like what I'm going to do Monday through Friday. I'm going to plan my week out a little bit better. So if it's Monday, I'm tap rating, Tuesdays, I'm following up, you know, and then reaching out to a few people every day as part of that. If there is a consistent plan in place, I'm more likely to do it. If I'm just like sitting down at my computer going, oh, I won't do anything. I'm being completely serious. Like if I'm like, if it's not planned out, I don't do it well. I do not follow through well. And that's the story of my probably last 6 weeks. And I moved, so I know life was nuts, and I'm again showing all grace to myself, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm done with that. It's time to get organized. And I thrive when I'm organized. But sometimes I don't want to necessarily put that into place because I get lazy.
Yeah, that's definitely my problem.
Honest. So that's going to change. That's those changes that I knew when I first started this business. I had it all written down. I knew when somebody was joined that I was going to follow up on this day, and had it calendared. So I just looked at the day. And so somebody joined this day and I would be like, okay, then definitely the first month, I'm definitely following up at least probably 6 or 7 times, just depending, especially the first 2 weeks. And then week 3, once week 4, and then right before they order. So I make sure that they get what they want. I have not been awesome at that, but that's how I grew from silver to senior ruby in like 9 months. I have not grown that fast since. So start that again.
That's awesome.
But it is what it is, and that's what works for me. But I do go to my virtual office, and I'm sometimes scared of my virtual office. Last month I wasn't, and go in there a lot. But I'm not going to. That's another thing that I'm going to make sure that I'm looking at my virtual office every single day, so I can stop reading those people, introducing myself.
I know. I forget about people.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It is, but we're not going to now.
Yeah, we're going to be organized.
We're going to be organized, and we're going to look in our downline, and we're going to see what they ordered. And I will be reaching out to your people, because every one of you is in my levels 1 through 4. So I will be reaching out to your people as another just lifeline for them as well. So if they get weirded out, I have to say something, just say, no, it's great. She's great. You know,
she's crazy.
So that's one thing that I was going to be doing. And then that way I feel like that relationship building is going to be much better. Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to be something that I'm going to know that level 3, or I'm at least by name, and they're going to know who I am. And I feel like you're going to create those stronger ties. That's going to build retention too, because somebody's going to be like, oh, somebody I can actually ask a question. They might get that question answered if their sponsor has been lagging. You know what I mean? So I think, and again, this may not be something that we see results from like day 1, but I do feel if we are all taprooting our brand new ambassadors, levels 1 through 4, you know, and if whatever levels you want to go to, if we are all doing this and we are telling our team to do this, you need to you need to introduce yourself to these people so they have a connection to you, because they're going to have more belief in this company and more belief in this whole system and network marketing as a whole, if there is that constant connection to that person above you that actually knows your name. Yeah. And I will tell you, this team, and I'm at the head of it, has lagged on that and not 100% on it in general. And that's, I put that on me because I have not emulated that well. So we're going to stop.
It's a new year.
It's a new year, but it is something that is just, again, 2020. We're just going to move on. Another thing I feel like everyone needs to get back to, Alicia's really good at this, but I used to be good at this and I lagged, is personal development. If you're not reading something that is taking your mind, the Bible is great. Read it every day. Highly recommend that. It's your number 1. But if you're not reading something that's going to address maybe your goal setting ability or mindset or something to that effect, business wise, or even like learning about relationship building, or learning, who's the guy I really like? Who's over my shelf? John Maxwell. Sorry. And if you're not reading something all the time,
the 21 Laws of Leadership, the workbook, not the book. The book is good, but it's fine and it's dense. But the workbook
is actually very good on that.
It's really good, and it's like 21 days. You could do like 3 weeks and do one a day on leadership development, and it's really good. Another one that's really good that I just read that is only an hour that I'm making my team read. I keep buying them books and making them read it. It's fine.
I love it.
It's Freakishly Effective Leadership for Network Marketing.
You
And
told
it
me.
really is only like an hour on Audible. It's so thin. It's super small. And GoPro is another one that's like really small and fast, which is like one you're supposed to read. But they're both like an hour on Audible fast. And
Alicia, can you like give us a little list on
Yeah, just go to like the all the things that we have on the things. Also, anything 15 Laws of Growth by John Maxwell is another huge one for me. I will go back and probably reread that one again. Super good. We can maybe just add like maybe our favorites. You know, there's always something to read. So even if you're like, I'm not a reader, get it on Audible. There's no excuses. I used to be a reader, but honestly, the time thing. So I'm redeeming that time in the car and or while I'm making dinner, have a headphone in or just have it playing on my whatever, what is that thing? The Echo show or whatever. So just have something going, you know, at least 10 to 15 minutes every day or 10 pages every day. I know that I used to be really on top of this and I don't anymore. It's just not becoming a part of my IPA day and it needs to be. So I find, again, if I'm doing that constantly all the time and focusing back on my business or back on my, you know, my relationships with people, because that's ultimately what this is about, we are going to see that compound success over time.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing something or you need something to read, I know a lot of times you can share Audible books too, I think one time. So we can always do that as well. Any other thoughts on personal development? Anybody reading anything right now? Or you're like, oh, I need to read.
I'm reading 12 Days of Christmas.
Girl, I was reading the 12 Days of Christmas now. Patty's like, I need to read. Okay. And that's something too, like once you find a book, and I love what Alicia does. She's got, you know, her handful of leaders and she shares that with them and or buys them a quick book, like a whatever, or gives that recommendation at least and says, you need to go read this right now. And you could do it in a small book study. You could do whatever it is.
We did the 21 Laws of Leadership last.
Okay.
And so it was just, and it took a while because I'm like, I don't want to, you know, make people do it in 3 weeks. So it took like 7 weeks probably. We did like 3 at a time but it was good. And then we would talk for like an hour on Zoom on Saturday and like talk about it. Yeah, it was good.
I love that. The other thing I want to talk about, there's 2 things. There's goals and, okay, well, I'll just get to that. Okay, so goals, you need to have a weekly goal, not like, I'm going to rank up this week. I mean, it's going to be something like, I'm going to do my IPA this week. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to make sure if your life has gone crazy and you're like, that has not been a part of my day and that's okay. And you just want to start adding a couple days a week. That's fine. Yeah. Compound that. So I'm going to do 2 days this week for a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to do 3 next week or 3 the week after. You know what I'm saying? So you know what you're capable of. I definitely recommend pushing yourself a little bit because I think we always say we don't have time, but we probably do have more time than we think. We wake up 15 minutes early. We go to bed 15 minutes later. You know what I mean? Kids are napping. We take 20 minutes. We have the time. We just don't make it. And I'm saying that to myself right here. Okay. So I definitely think we need a weekly goal. So I recommend, you know, you're going to read 3 days a week, or I'm going to taproot on Mondays and I'm going to reach out to 15 people each week, 15 new people each week. And I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to open up my what's it called? My virtual office every single day and take a look at what's going on. I'm going to look at my perks report. I suck at looking at my perks report, you guys. I suck at it. I don't do it.
Same.
I usually go, Emily, do it for me. And she does. But I need to do that. And those are little teeny things that would take me 3 minutes. You know, if somebody is like on day 2 of they're about to lose it, then I need to get in touch with them. Whether or not they do it, at least I've tried. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, those are the little things that we need to go. I'm going to look at my perks report. Take 2 seconds to do that every day. I'm going to, you know, introduce myself to my new people every Monday. Create a schedule for yourself that you can do, because you don't want to create something you're like, I'm going to do 3 hours of IPA every single day. You're not going to do that.
And then you'll get mad at yourself and then you'll feel shame and bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you won't do anything.
Exactly. If you can give yourself consistent 20 minutes a day for a whole 5 days a week, do it. and figure out what you're going to do in those 20 days. If you can add 5 minutes, in a couple of weeks, or you can find another 10 minutes, another part of your day, do it.
Yeah.
We have got to do the things. And if you're relationship building, you're doing personal development, you're doing reach outs and follow-ups, you're gold. Don't worry about creating events. Don't worry about doing all these other things, because that's what people can do for you, and you can just tap into those. But if you can work on you and your team and the people underneath you and making them love the product and helping them to be successful, and if they want to, earn a rank, you're helping them do that too, that's going to compound huge over time. So that's another thing that I think we just all need to be focusing on is weekly goals. I think you should have a monthly goal and now a 90-day goal. Does anybody have their 90-day
Should
goal?
all go up to each other though too.
Yeah, they'll plan it out. So you're not gonna be like, I'm going to add all these people and then all of a sudden miraculously I'm gonna be senior gold in 90 days. It's gotta you gotta plan it out a little bit.
Right.
And maybe have a point goal at the end. So if you I think you ended what, like 120-ish, something like that, Ruthie?
Yeah, it was, I think it was around there.
Yeah, so then you'd be like, okay, well, I want to end at 150 or 160, like adding 30 points would be like a 20-something% increase,
Yeah.
like that. And if you want another 20% increase, that's going to go up to like 200 points. So your goal in 90 days is completely doable.
Right. It's just the consistency.
And if you're adding that little teeny bit every single month. By the way, Emily's doing, for my levels 1 and 2, she's doing calls, or doing plan out 90-day calls. And I highly recommend taking advantage of that. If you are not levels 1 and 2, I can do that for you. So
I have one on Tuesday.
Good. Does everybody else have one planned? Yes. Good. Mine's not planned, but I'm doing it. I told her, I'm like, not today or tomorrow, next week. So that's really, really good. Another thing I think you need is a power partner, and you need to schedule power hours if you want to have more accountability. It's not necessary, but I think it's helpful. I know a lot of people that cheer each other on and push each other. And Patty, would you say that Carol's your biggest power partner?
Oh, definitely.
You guys work together really well.
Yes, all the time. And she was supposed to be on the call too, so I'm like, I think she missed it.
That's okay. That's why we're recording. It's all good.
Yeah.
So how do you guys do that? How does that look for you two?
Oh, well, we kind of had our power hour today. Like, we discussed what the plan was for the month, what Zooms we were going to do, who we're reaching out to,
Good.
what we were going to plug into the main thing with what, Dare to Be Diamond, like here, those Zooms, and then what can we do on our own for, newbies.
Yes.
So we plan it out pretty good.
I love that so much. Like, I'm not worthy. Yeah. Alicia does a good job of that too, with her team. I mean, she's planning things and doing like business events. And we were talking this week, we're like, I'll talk to the Jules too, but there has to be something every single week that we can, whether or not we do, but that we can invite people, whether it's a business event or a wellness event, and taking advantage of what is already in existence. Like I have to talk to Cheyenne about this, but those health events that they have, I think we did one last month. Was it last month that we did? The beginning of December, Alicia? I think that was what we did with Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Those are great. They're like a half an hour. They're testimonial. They're health testimonies usually, but they throw in the business part with it. It's meaningful. It's quick. So that's like I think that's every Thursday. I'm going to double check with her, but there's that. I know we're really focused on doing some more business Zooms, at least a couple every single month, and passing the torch around. So we're not having to do it twice a month on our own, but we need to get those on the calendar. The monthly goal Zoom with Johanna, like, get your people there. If you guys haven't looked at the calendar on Dare, do that. I don't know if everything's uploaded right or put on there right now, but you can see what exists. So there's always going to be something to invite. So if you are reaching out to 10 to 15 people a week or more, hey, would you want to check this out? Hey, would you want to check this out? We have this really cool 30-minute Zoom. I can't believe what this business has done for me over the last year. I was such a doubter and a skeptic. This is rad. Do you want to check it out? Whatever your language or your speak is, every single week. And let's see. But that power hour and having that accountability, I need accountability. because I will
Yeah.
sit on my butt and I'm not sitting on my butt, but I will find something else to do, or I will find work things to do, but they're the work things that I like to do, not the
Yeah.
work things that I don't like to do.
That you need to do.
Like my perks report. Or I only reached out to a person today, but also, high-fiving that person high-fiving that person too that they did it. But I really feel like accountability is going to keep us consistent, compound. It all bleeds over. You know what I mean? Consistent,
Mhm.
compound, 90-day goals. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What else? Those were my big things that have kind of been like in my head the last couple of weeks. I talked to Susie a lot about that too, because she was talking about new people. How do we get new people involved? I'm like, we got to keep it simple. We have to tell them. That's something else too, that we have to have some type of a system for our new people. Go post this. Give them the verbiage. The frog system is great. I think, does everybody have the frog system from Brooke and Emily? That's great. I don't necessarily think you have to do that exactly, but it's a great reference, and you can come up with some really good posts. You can make them sound like them. Give them something to post. Have something for them to send out to every single person that likes their post. You know what I mean? Hey, go send everyone who liked it or commented, go send them this quick message. There's only 5. Can you do that? Yes. And help them do that. Oh, that was easy. Yay. So anybody who responds,
Yeah.
let's get them in a 3-way chat. It has to be a consistent way to launch them. I do believe in launch parties. We have not done them in a while. But those new people who want to grow a business, those kind of like quick business, I think the 30-minute Zoom is probably more efficient, but it's hard to get people to. Alicia, have you had some success with those, getting people to them?
I don't know.
Hit and miss, right?
It's hit and miss. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if you go back to that one Zoom thing that we have with, or not Zoom, the Facebook, going back to the Facebook party, those are actually really great. Launching those new people that join quickly, I think, is something we have to just create that system for too, as we get new people that want to work.
I agree.
Or even new people that want to like make their products back, because you never know what's going to happen with those people. A lot of my friends were like anti-business or diamonds. So
that was me.
Yeah, see? I don't think I'd be good at that. That's what she told me.
I'm like, I want it, but I can't afford it.
Yeah, and she bought Probio 5 for like 3 months. And then she did it 1 month because she got it free from a friend. I was like, okay. And then she joined, I think, 3 months later.
It was like 6 months.
Yeah, I think it was like late spring, May or something. May, maybe.
You're like, it's free. And then all of a sudden I was selling it.
Yeah. You need to join right now. I think I want to do it now. Okay.
Yeah.
But
And I was like, holy
everything.
fire, I'm like making money.
yeah, I know, right?
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. Okay.
Yeah.
What other things, if you guys could, I'm not going to make everybody show me your goals. If you guys could send me your maybe 30, 90 yearly goals, but I do put them on my whiteboard, and I want to pray over those and like also, cheer you on. So if you guys have those, and if you guys can get them from your team, and you can even screenshot them to me, because I do write them down. I'm not going to check up on your team and go, how is your whatever? Did you get your 3? Only if they tell me personally. But I do pray over those, and I get super excited when people hit them. So if you guys want to just think about those, maybe in the next 24, 48 hours, send them to me. That'd be great. If you don't have to, but that would be awesome. And does anybody have any other thoughts before we move on?
Can I know just about goals?
Yeah, tell me all the things.
Well, today was, and it's coming off of, you saw my big Post-it notes in my room of my goal. I'm like, I don't know, I just have the things everywhere. My husband probably thinks I'm crazy. It's fine. Today was a Vision Sunday at church. So it was like, write down. Yeah, it was really like, write down your big giant goals and all of these things. And, like ask God, like what he has for you. Mm-hmm. But that if you've read, here's another book. If you've read The Circle Maker, it's all of, I know that's the one everybody should start with, honestly. But
have you not read that?
No. I don't
oh
read.
my gosh, you will turn into
Can we be friends?
us and be like, I love this. I read it every year.
Read the Bible because I have to.
I know.
Well, this is all about prayer. It's all about prayer and how you pray, and it changes your mindset on how you pray. It's very interesting, but it's about big, giant goals, right? Like, it's like, if you can do it by yourself, like, that's dumb. Like, that, what is that? Like, that's not bringing honor to God or anything. It has to be something that's like crazy. Like, I don't know how to figure that out myself. I don't know. We're just going to make
God's
it.
gonna do it.
Do it. I don't know. So it has to be
That's
like
what I do.
big goals. Yeah, because that's what God wants, these big goals for you, because then he gets to fill in the gaps where we don't
All the glory.
have that ability. Yeah. So
Right.
make your goals ridiculous is what I was going to say.
I love that.
Not like I'm going to be a diamond in 90 days. Maybe. Who knows? It could happen.
It's gonna happen.
End of the year.
That's
You
great.
never know.
That'd be a good day. But like big one, like big. So that's what they're saying in church today too. Like dream, like they need to be big. They need to be like broad. They were even saying like, your dreams should like bless everybody too. Like that's what we're doing here too. But it's not just about you. It's about who
Mhm.
can be encompassed in your big goal. Like who are you also blessing when you're trying to shoot for goals for yourself too. So
I love
something.
that.
Right.
I love that you said make your goals ridiculous, because I feel like they should.
Should be.
You know, and if you're looking at your when I show you the prize things and the numbers, you're gonna be like, I want the $2,500, or I want Paris. Why the crap not?
Why not?
Why not? So if you go, you go. If not, whatever. If you get anywhere close, you'll probably be going to Mexico anyway in September. So
Right.
yeah. Okay. Anything else to add? Any other thoughts?
Mm.
All right. Does anybody want to close this out in a quick word of prayer? Anybody?
I can.
Thank you, ma'am.
God, I just thank you so much for what you're doing. And I just thank you for just your hand and your face in this business. And I just pray for all the ladies that are on this Zoom call right now, that you would just bless them tonight. Lord, I ask that you give them your heart and your vision for the company, and for everything that you're doing. And just bring in the people that need Plexus.
Yeah.
And give us the words to say, give us the wisdom in each situation. And we just want to glorify you first, Father. And we keep you at the center of it. And just thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, girls, send me your goals.
Okay.
I'm excited. All right, I will post this link in the thing, and if you guys could send it to your team, that'd be great.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, that was good.
Stop recording here. I always forget how. Oh, stop recording.